from the great halls of their house, there assembled 3 who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe comes our team captain, the Vision, Bill Fisher. There's soon-to-be Wonder Woman, Vicky Fisher, and our B-Man, the master of tools, gadgets, and all things mechanical, our mild-mannered soon-to-be billionaire, Alan Danvers. Their mission? To fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with them, and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team.
All right, Josh, hurry before your dad gets back. We can finish this episode.
Okay. What are we on again?
All right.
All righty. Hello.
2 Wakemans. 2 Fishers. What is this world coming to?
Good things. Only good things.
All right. Very well. You guys ready? Welcome to the Garage Heroes in Training podcast. We're going to do a WOOT episode, which means we are way off our topic. We will only have very little things to do with racing, but we thought it was time to have some guests on. Oh, wait, who else is hosting?
I'm Vicky.
Yes, you are. And you're the only one who watches these things with me. Anyway, We thought it was time to go over.
I listen to the podcast.
You do. You do. I know.
Throwing us under the bus. Okay, I get it.
No, that's fine. All right, we'll do that intro first then. So, returning guests, frequent WOOT episode co-hosts. One of them hosts his own podcast called the Everyone Racers Podcast. He is Papa Wakeman, otherwise known as Jeff Wakeman.
Hello, everyone.
The namesake for El Jefe, the trophy truck. Just in case you haven't put that together. And his significantly better host of a podcast. I'm not sure if he's hosting his own podcast anymore, but he did at one time. He is back again. He is very excited about most of what we talk about that's not racing related, and well overdue to attend a race with us, Mr. Wakeman. Maybe pit race, perhaps. We have Jeff's son, Josh. Welcome to the podcast, Josh.
Thank you. Hello.
All right.
Josh and I are actually in different rooms.
You are.
So we'll have to, I might do some verbal prompts, but I am excited to be here.
That's right.
I do want to say that I'm very, very happy that Josh is joining us again, because this kid is all knowing.
Yes.
He watches a lot of TikTok and a lot of YouTube about a lot of Marvel.
Right.
It's amazing what free time will let you learn. All right. So for those of you playing at home, we will be going over WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, and all 4 of us have already seen Black Widow. So again, we are going over things as if you've seen them. So this is spoilers. If you don't like spoilers, you really should turn off now. But thank you for downloading. It's greatly appreciated. Spoilers. Everybody good?
Not a fan of that? Well, then they'll see you next episode.
That's right. You can come back later. We're going to go in chronological order. So if you haven't seen Loki, it's towards the end. If you haven't seen Black Widow, it is the end. So that's where we're going. Okay. That's it. Spoilers are over. We're going in. Okay.
All right.
So Marvel's first TV show.
Well, is it really Marvel's first TV show?
Marvel's first
Disney Plus
canon.
Well, one that Kevin Feige approves of. How about that?
Okay.
Or canon.
Yes.
Because apparently Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is just now.
That's a Pearl Mutter show, not a Feige show. Anyway, so we could spend a couple hours just on WandaVision. We can if you'd like. Let us know. But we're going to try to keep this short and try to keep it sweet. But we will go over. Who wants the unenviable task of trying to summarize WandaVision?
Being the person in the room with a television degree, and since it is a show about television, may I take the honor?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, you may.
Okay.
And can I? And may I?
What are you going to do? Falcon and Winter Soldier, or?
I think I might go Loki as well.
Okay. So, WandaVision. WandaVision is a show about Wanda Maximoff, and it is in the TV style of decades of television because it is a show in a show in a show.
Mhm.
So each episode was represented by some iconic, by many of the tropes of iconic television. So
in
if
a
you
certain
watch-
decade.
in a certain decade. So if you watch the very first episode, it was modeled after Dick Van Dyke. If you watch the second episode, it was modeled after Jeannie. I Dream of Jeannie. Bewitched. Thank you.
Bewitched, the other one.
Yes, I was
Samantha.
close.
Yes.
And then the third one was
Brady Bunch?
Basically,
yeah,
Bunch?
70s.
Brady Bunch
70s.
70s.
Yeah.
it was a mix of no, the 80s one was a mix.
Yeah, the 80s
all
one was a
shows.
mix of a couple of different shows. But
Right.
anyway, and as each one progressed, it was a WTF show. There was a whole mystery of what exactly was happening.
Mhm.
And I will give you a brief review of the plot. It was Wanda and Vision living together, and it was kind of a mystery on how they were living because, as we know, Vision was destroyed in the MCU, and this was taking place at an unknown time and an unknown town in the middle of New Jersey. And it was all a mystery, and it was in some sort of bubble. As it turned out, it was a bubble of Wanda's making, and her Nexus level magic had basically revived her vision of Vision.
Mhm.
The body itself was not there. It was still in Shield. Was it Shield, Bill? Help me out. No, it wasn't
Yeah.
Shield. It was, yes.
It was no, it was Sword.
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 The new
Sword.
sword. Yes, thank you. The show progressed. It brought back the wonderful character from Thor, who is now a doctor. Doctor, what the hell was her name? I
Marcy?
can't remember. Marcy, thank you.
Darcy.
Yeah.
Darcy.
Darcy, sorry.
Darcy, yes, Darcy. Eventually, it was figured out that there was lots of funny things happening, and the crazy, kooky neighbor, it turns out, was
Agatha?
Agatha Harkness,
Harkness.
who was a different witch, and she was drawn to this little town called Westview in New Jersey because of the magic that Wanda was doing.
Mhm.
Because she wanted to capture the Nexus level magic for herself.
Mhm.
Lots of fighting, lots of punching, lots of flying and fireballs.
Yep.
Including, and this is a big deal, the
Dark
what's
Cold.
the name of the jerk from Sword? I can't even remember.
The
He
which
wasn't
one?
important. The guy in charge of Sword.
Doofus number 1.
Hayward.
Yeah. Thank you, Hayward.
Oh, good one.
Some doofus named Hayward was rebuilding Vision and
Mhm.
rebuilt him without a soul, and he showed up as White Vision.
Mhm.
There was some fantastic Paul Bettany on Paul Bettany, Vision on White Vision, philosophical scuttlebutt, and Wanda won. And should I even bother mentioning Boner? Another
No.
mystery was the other Maximoff, Peter Maximoff, showed up out of nowhere, and it
Pietro.
was plain,
Pietro.
Mhm.
yes, Peter Pietro, depending on which show you're watching.
Mhm.
But it was the Pietro Peter actor from the Fox X-Men series. I don't remember the actor's name, and
Evan
it turns out
Peters?
he was. Thank you, Evan
Yeah,
Peters.
Evan Peters.
It turns out that he was the one that was Quicksilver and did all the really cool stuff in the latest X-Men movies. Freezing time, if I could have time in a bottle, blah 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 blah. But it turns out he really wasn't her brother. He was just the neighbor who was an actor named Boner, and the worst part of the show. I know I'm jumping ahead,
That's
but
okay.
that was kind of a letdown. The show ended with Wanda escaping with all of her power and a book called The Darkhold,
Mhm.
and
A brand new costume.
in a brand new costume and
Yep.
next level power. She basically leveled up at the end of the
Mhm.
show. White Vision went away. The regular Vision, who was only an image in her mind, destroyed herself. There were the twins, but they weren't really either, etc., etc. There it is. WandaVision in a bottle.
Boom.
And as long as that was, there's still more to it. And if we get into the comic book part of this world, we will be here for hours. But we're going to say that's our summary.
Mm-hmm.
Really quick,
Yes.
can I just mention like all the big loopholes that like the cast threw at us?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Bettany, the person who plays Vision, said that there was a cameo by someone that Paul Bettany had always wanted to work with.
Yep.
We're
Did it
going to
happen?
assume that was White Vision, which
Oh.
is himself.
Yes.
This is true.
Yes.
true.
Well, if you did notice too that towards the end, that White Vision, I believe that Paul Bettany has transferred over
His memories.
his memories. So we may see a revitalization of Vision in that body.
White Vision is from the comics. We can
Right.
get into that for hours. Okay.
Yes.
So, personal thoughts on the podcast. We were thinking, let's use our standard ratings. Maybe a 1 to 10. Vicky, you want to go first?
I would give WandaVision. I would give WandaVision probably about a 7.
WandaVision gets a 7 from Vicky. What?
I would. And the only reason why is because it was very slow to start. And I get the reason why they did it. It was very kind of cheesy, hokey in the beginning because most shows were like that. And the buildup of it was so slow to get to the end. And as you start getting to the end, it became more of a Marvel movie. But the creep there was a little bit much. Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Jeff?
I would go 8. 8.5. No, let's do 9. I'm going to do 9.
9.
And this is why I'm going to do 9. I'm going to do 8.5. We'll do 8.
You sure?
Okay, no, I'm not sure.
82.4.
8.25. There was misdirection, and there was lots of leftover. They basically dangled out and wrote checks that they could not cash at the end.
Mm-hmm.
The Boner character was an entirely amazing thing. Like anything they could have done at the end with Boner would have been better than Boner.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, but let's skip to the last question because I think this impacts that. This show came out of sequence and in a COVID environment,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
which
did.
which gave people nothing else to do. I mean, the amount of speculation and fan theory that went into this show was, I don't know if it's ever been higher for a TV show. But do you think that impacted the way this show was received and the way that everybody built up so many things? Because it wasn't like the show, except for Evan Peters, it wasn't like the show ever made these promises. It just, the fans kind of took the ball and ran with it.
Mm-hmm. I do believe that. I do believe that there was a lot of post Endgame excitement for it to come.
Starvation.
Right. But then again, I do get some of the nuances that they put in the show. And you could always tell Wanda's state of mind by the shade of her hair, because the shade of her hair kept changing. And if you notice, it does.
Interesting.
So go back and watch it. Sometimes it start. What I believe
The girl
that
notices what color Wanda's hair is. The guy's not a clue.
Well, no, but it would end up lighter when she wasn't like really kind of playing or whatever. But it would end up redder the more she started using her powers.
Could be. Okay. Well, I'll have to watch it again. Bummer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
What do you think, Josh? 1 to 10? Where are you going?
Okay. So on my preset show notes, I gave it a 10, but now I feel like it's a little bit too much, so I'm gonna go along with my dad and give it a 9.5.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, and let's be clear. I think it was fantastic, but I think they purposely dumbed down the show. And it
Yeah.
may have been done because of the COVID, because of the release, because they changed the order. It has been said very publicly that the original intention for the commercials, and I forgot to mention the commercials, but the original intention for the commercials and for the end of the show included a cameo or an appearance of Doctor Strange. And the original commercials were supposed to be messages from Doctor Strange.
Yes.
So I think at the end, they basically wimped out or dumbed it down.
Sequence out, yeah.
And sequenced it out. And I think that's why it's slightly not as amazing. And by the way, it was still amazing.
It was still
Yeah.
amazing. It really was.
It was an amazing show, but like, I don't know, it just felt weird.
It was supposed to feel weird.
It was.
I
So
did kind of like the thing where it was like the first 3 episodes where you're like, what the heck? What is this? What is the plot? And then
Mhm.
next 3 you're like, okay, I'm starting to get it. And
Yeah.
then the last 3 you're like,
That-
story.
Now,
yeah.
now we're in
Marvel.
Marvel.
Exactly.
Yeah, the last 3.
All right, so this is one it's that question that I hate, and there's no way to answer. It's kind of like, Vicky, what's it like to race as a girl? You know, you can't ask the question because it's not like Vicky knows what it's like to race as a guy, and I can't figure it out. So I have a question about this show. Jeff and I, no problem, got the age thing. Vicky being so young, she's kind of borderline. Josh, I'm not sure you knew what any of these shows were. Is part of this show lost if you just weren't old enough to watch those original shows they were referencing, or is it just kind of, what do you think, Josh? Like, do you know Dick Van Dyke? Have you ever watched it?
It's I think I've seen one episode before
So it was just like they were just pretending to be on
on
old
like
TV
just like
to you.
MeTV.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize it was Dick Van Dyke until I've like seen videos and they were
Ah.
like, "Hey, this is a reference to Dick Van Dyke," and I was like, "Oh, okay."
So was the reference lost on you to a point, or what do you think? Was it just like old TV shows? This is weird, or
No, to me, I was like, for me, it was just like Marvel.
Okay.
You know, like this is MCU.
Yeah.
Post Endgame stuff.
and it had been a while since we had any.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was starved for Marvel attention.
Exactly. All right. What do you think, Jeff? You got a thought on that, or?
I don't know because I'm old enough.
Yeah, exactly.
And I grew up on that television.
Yeah.
And what I think is the I'm going to get weirdo on TV right now. The way that we watch TV has changed.
For sure.
And the way that Marvel is currently such a juggernaut that people would watch it no matter what.
Mhm.
So it gave them the creativity to confuse you for the first 3 and to not have big payoffs.
Yes.
And I think they took advantage of it. And I love that they took advantage of it. But you're absolutely right. If they were not Marvel, this show would have been canceled after 3 episodes.
I think that's partly why they released the first 3.
Mhm.
Just to get you through that quicker.
Yep.
Vicky, any thoughts, or moving on?
No, I got all the references going
Even
on.
at your young age, I mean,
Yeah.
you're barely legal to
Yeah.
drink.
Stop. So no, I got all the references that they were referring to, and it was a fun guessing game to try to line up what shows they were closest referencing.
Mhm.
That was very interesting.
What if you were
And-
younger, though? I mean,
I-
younger than you're 22.
Let me see. I would say that some of it might be lost on the younger people, but I think they do have a general idea on how TV worked back then. I mean, they see enough video
you get it
and
superficial.
TikTok, and yeah, you kind of get a what is it, a bird's eye view of what television kind of lines up to be, although they probably don't have an exact reference to it.
Okay. All right. Let's do best part, worst part, favorite characters.
All right.
Josh, you get to go first.
Okay. Best part for me.
Hmm?
All right. Basically just Agatha all along.
The song or the concept of Agatha?
The song, my friend.
Okay. All right. It actually appeared in the top 10 of Apple, I know. So what about you, Hefe?
The character of Agatha was absolutely fantastic. The music was absolutely fantastic. I really liked the commercials also. I'm gonna go with Agatha as a character. I thought it was a great introduction to a great, I don't know if I would call her evil,
She's evil.
I don't know if they played her fully as evil. I think she's not a big bad. How about I put it that way?
No, she's an opportunist.
Yes, she is similar to Loki. She is a self-server and not a hero, but I would not put her in the same vein as a Thanos or some of those other bigger bats.
Vicky?
I think the best part was the culmination of Scarlet Witch, where it all came together. Her story came together. What exactly happened, why the apartment didn't blow up, and how she actually developed her powers. I also enjoyed the fact that at the very, very end, how clever she was to create the trap for Agatha Harkness. So that was very, very good because she purposely missed her when she was throwing out.
Everyone at the same time with Wanda said, only the witch that casts the rune gets to use her magic.
Yes. And then the incredible amount of power that she had finally absorbed back into her, and the realization of who she is.
Okay. I would have gone with Wanda. Just, giving Elizabeth Olsen the chance to show off and
act.
Yeah.
And she did very well.
She did. Best supporting character or more minor character? Agatha doesn't. She was major. So any favorites on that?
Jimmy Woo.
Josh, you don't need to put the mic so close to your mouth. We can hear you. Fine.
That was loud on purpose.
Okay.
What about you, Vicky?
See, I think the kids were good supporting actors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job.
Okay. Wiccan and Speed?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Hefe?
That's... It's definitely... It's got to be Agatha. I mean,
Nope, too big.
Too big. Oh, no, that's right.
That's the only reason I was going to say Agatha.
Sorry,
supporting father.
Yeah, I got to... Jimmy Woo was really good.
Jimmy Woo was good.
Yeah.
Monica Rambeau for me.
Monica.
Oh, yeah.
See, I was putting Monica in the major character.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a major.
You know what? Honestly, she's right there with Agatha.
You think?
Yeah.
She wasn't even in like 4 episodes.
She was...
She's big enough to get her whole
she didn't even make it in episode 1. I get it.
Yeah.
She didn't make it in episode 1. That's it.
Is she going to get a series?
No.
Or she's going to get
Not
wrapped
yet.
up in something?
Secret Invasion, I think.
She's going to be on the next Captain Marvel too.
Okay, so she is going to be pushed forward.
Oh,
I don't know if Agatha's going to be pushed forward right away.
Well, let's speculate because I have a question. What's next? What do you think? What do you think will happen? What do you want to happen?
Right.
Oh, I know Josh is going first. There's no chance we're
Okay.
word here.
So basically, my thing that is that this will lead up to Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
Mhm.
Obviously,
Absolutely.
since Wanda is confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, my theory goes on with my theory of the plot. Basically, we already know that Wanda is more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
It has been shown in the show that, and now that she has the power of the Darkhold, which is such an all-powerful object, my theory is that in the movie, she's gonna release some bigger thing from the Darkhold that she doesn't know how to handle,
Okay.
Okay.
and Doctor Strange is gonna be all like, "What did you do? I turned my back for 1 second, and you just unleashed this evil thing.
Mm.
Do you know how to stop this?" And she's like, "Nah, not really." And
Mm-mm.
so they go and get the only other person that could know anything about this,
Okay.
Mhm.
Agatha.
Oh, really? Okay. All right.
Because remember, at the end, she said, "You've unleashed something."
Mhm.
Okay. Hefe, you want to go next, or you want Vicky to?
That's go ahead, Vicky can go. I don't want to steal thunder
Well,
here because I
we
have
already-
a theory.
We already know she's going into the next Doctor Strange movie. So, and I think that there's going to be a couple things happening with a couple characters coming together with it. But I mean, she's not bad. She's broken mentally. She's definitely has, mental issues that she's struggling with. So my guess is that we may see Agatha again. I don't know, but I am wondering if what's happening with Loki is also going to be mixing in with WandaVision.
We didn't get there yet. Okay.
Okay.
Hefe.
They better bring Agatha back. Catherine Hahn was amazing. She's too big of an actress not to use her again. I hope they signed her for a long contract. I hope she's lives in that little pocket reality and they just go get her and do stuff with her. I'm going to say that the search for the children
Mhm.
is what creates the negative event that makes the multiverse and is the plot for Multiverse of Madness.
Okay. I have a question to the group.
Okay.
Is Agatha going to be visited by the Contessa?
Yes. 100%.
Contessa.
Yes.
Yes.
Who's you got to explain to me who the Contessa is?
Elaine Bennis.
Val.
Julia Louise Dreyfus.
Oh, yes. I think so.
So she will be joining the Thunderbolts, perhaps?
I do not know.
Okay. Too much comic book for Vicky. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's I'm glad we're doing this the quick way, because if we went the long way, like I said, we could do way long episodes on each one of these. That
Mhm.
was 45 minutes on a short one.
Mhm.
Falcon Winter Soldier, please. Who wanted to do the summary, I believe?
Josh wants to do Loki, so it's
Josh
one of
wants to
you
do
two.
Loki?
It's
Okay.
either you or Vicky.
All right. Sam Wilson gives up the shield. The shield gets taken over by Kurt Russell's son, who I'm blanking on his name.
Wyatt.
That's right. Who actually shaved his beard for the first time I've ever seen him without a beard. He eventually becomes U.S. agent. Sam eventually regains the title of Captain America. We meet a older version, second.
One of the first super soldiers,
Yeah.
and
Yep, and he was not treated very well. That's a separate story. And they work with Zemo and manage to find out some of Zemo's dance moves. And
Zemo cut.
That's right. And I think this is where we first meet Contessa. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Yes.
Correct.
And I don't want to give away too much, but that's kind of the high level overview. U.S. agent eventually does some non-Captain America things. So he's more of a darker version of Captain America, which some would say fits the country at this point. But we're staying non-political.
And you should mention that he ends up getting super soldier serum.
He does. Yes, he does.
Yeah.
And this one, I believe, this is Bill commentary. I believe this one was greatly affected by the pandemic and also by editing as a result of the pandemic, because the original plot had the villains of the movie were responding to a virus from the Far East, which probably would not have gone over very well in the current climate that this came out in. This is, again, post-COVID for those of you far into the future. To me, the series was a little choppy. It suffered from the thing that drives me crazy about superhero shows and action movies in general. I didn't care about the villain. So it's my
who
least...
was the villain? I don't even know if that was very clear.
It's true. So this was my least favorite of the three so far. So
Absolutely.
I'll get that right off the top. So
All right.
anything? Did I miss anything, Josh?
Hold on. I'm gonna say something.
Sure.
The show might have seemed like, boring, but I will say that it does drop a big bombshell, like a really deep one. And it's with Isaiah Bradley's statement of they will never let a black man be Captain America.
There were definitely social justice overtones about the treatment of black men in America. They definitely were referencing, a lot of referencing of Tuskegee and some of the other things that were going on, and the real history of the Tuskegee Airmen. Not Tuskegee, the black men that were given syphilis.
Oh yeah.
And
that was Tuskegee, wasn't it?
Was that Tuskegee?
I believe it was. Yeah.
I don't think it was, but that's okay.
But anyway, that experimentation by the American military and the American government and the super soldier, because there were super soldiers there were black men that were given the super soldier serum during the experimentation. So
yeah, they were trying to draw an analogy.
Two extra things.
Sure.
Of like things I've seen on TikTok about it. One thing is like a theory of how each Captain America represents something in America. Steve Rogers, Captain America, is the America we think we are. John Walker, Captain America, is the America that we actually are.
Ooh.
And
deep
Sam
thinking.
Wilson's Captain America is the America that we should be.
You know what? They are very.
Interesting.
I like that point of view because I think that.
And Isaiah Bradley is the America we don't want to talk about.
Yes.
So.
And another thing.
Go ahead.
Is that one person on TikTok that me and my dad both watch? His name is Straw Hat Goofy, and he had the theory about the whole theme of racism before the show confirmed it, and everybody was just like, no, it isn't, you idiot. The show is not about racism. It's a Marvel thing. His video showing the big bombshell brought him to tears because he himself is a black man.
Yep. Check out Straw Hat Goofy on TikTok for some deep discussion on the racial overtones of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I don't think you could have not had it with
Absolutely.
the storyline if you're introducing that dynamic without the overtones.
Yeah. I thought they did a great job of it. And it was taken from a comic book. Bill, do you know the name of the run? It was
yes, but I can't think of it right now. Yeah.
Red, Black, and Blue.
Yeah, something. I'll look it up while we're playing.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. Next question, Bill.
So where are your general ratings on this one?
Okay, I'm a strong 6, and I'm going to tell you why. Not only did we not have a very strong bad guy character, I don't like what they did to set up a future bad person character. I don't like the stuff they did in Amapur. Was that
Mhm.
the mythical country? I'm glad they had Amapur, but I just didn't. They never really tied the super soldier serum and the why the whole Amapur thing was happening, why they were still making super soldier serum, why what did they call the other faction? What were they? The red hand, the red no, the hand.
No, it wasn't that. Flag Smashers.
Flag Smashers. They
Right.
never really developed the Flag Smashers on the why they were doing what they were doing.
Well, they could.
Well, they relatively did, but in a sense that they just wanted to be a world without borders, and they were anarchists in order to try to get to that. But it was very, very choppy, and trying to pinpoint exactly that background. Well, number one, they probably didn't have enough time because they're all very short episodes. But
They're
I don't-
only short episodes because they want them to be short episodes, and they have their own TV station. They can make it as long as they want.
Yeah. But this is what I'm saying. Zemo was fantastic. Isaiah Bradley was fantastic. Bucky was fantastic.
yeah,
You know, even Wyatt, whatever his name was fantastic. Everything with Carly and the Flag Smashers was flat.
yeah.
It was. So
All right.
where would you gave this one a 6, Jeff? What about
Gave it
you,
a 6.
Josh?
6.
I'm going to give it a 7. And yes, all the themes about racism are basically the reason why it's a 7.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Basically, the show was like a middle child. With
That's a good way to put it.
With WandaVision as the oldest, that everyone likes, you think about it a lot and you're like, that was a good show. And Loki is the youngest child that you just absolutely love.
Well, I also think that the amount of building that they've actually had on these characters anyway, there hasn't been a lot of build on them.
Yeah,
And there hasn't been a lot of focus on them. Say, for instance, like everybody had their individual movie. Everybody here has their individual TV show. You know, I mean, yes, we had. I mean, Winter Soldier is probably the most developed, and Loki's the most developed. We've seen them quite a bit, but you know, it just seems like, okay, let's kind of pack these in so we can kind of give an in between crossover to the bigger movies that are coming.
Mm-hmm. They really tried to get like attention based on their themes about how racism. Who's the bad guy? It's us as a society. Like if you were to tell me that it was written, that the theme was suggested by an emo teenager, I would not be surprised.
Okay, Miss, I don't know how to. Sometimes getting a transition from Josh is nearly impossible. But anyway, Miss Vicky.
I would probably give it about a 6. And a lot of the walking up to people and going, "How are you doing today?" I'm really kind of getting over that. And it just seems like this one kind of had quite a bit of it. Like, how you feeling? How you doing? And I guess that's not something that I see a lot in superhero movies. How you feeling?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Jeff, the one of the reasons Benny's usually on here is he's much better at the more recent comic books. I'm more of the older comic books. It's Truth, Red, White, and Black.
That was it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Best part, best lead. Who
Best
did
lead's-
well?
Best lead is Bucky.
Okay.
Bucky was fantastic.
Bucky,
Bucky.
Bucky's good. Bucky's really good.
Before I answer this question, is Zemo lead or
I'm-
supporting?
He's
I'm going-
supporting.
I'm going supporting.
Okay,
And he's going to win by a landslide. So I didn't
Yes.
even-
Yep.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
mhm.
All right. Anything wasted in this one? I get the feeling I need to ask that question.
Everything.
I just
Yeah.
much like these little quick episodes, and I feel like they're quick episodes, because you don't really have the extent of like a true season. They're longer than a movie, shorter than the normal television programs.
Mhm, mhm.
They're like that in between that, you either you
British
come out
thing.
well, you either come out flying and pounding, or you have a lot of good buildup with some in between action to kind of keep you going. So I'm really kind of having a difficult time with the concept of these 5, 6, 7 mini shows.
This was supposed to come out before WandaVision too.
Oh, was it? Yeah. So I'm having a little bit of a hard time with the buildup of the Disneys right now. It's a different way of consuming.
No, it
media.
absolutely is. It absolutely is. I think WandaVision, what it did better than Falcon and Winter Soldier is have a beginning, middle, and end that kind of connected itself.
Right.
You were confused in the beginning. In the middle, Josh mentioned it. You kind of started to understand what's going on, and then the end was like a Marvel movie. The
Right.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier began with punching.
Mm-hmm.
Flying.
The middle was punching. The end was punching.
Yeah.
Like it didn't. There wasn't because the Flag Smashers. Which, by the way, I'm okay with the Flag Smashers being dumbed down. Just make them bad. Just make them trying to steal something. You know what I mean? Like
They were inconsistent.
They were
Yeah.
inconsistent, and the whole we could have edited out Sam trying to convert Carly because they never really described what her motivations were. They could have just punched more. They could have shown something blow up and say that was them. So
Using your metaphor in a different way. For me, I personally felt like it was like getting punched in the gut a lot in the beginning, but then in the middle, your opponent slowly loses energy.
Yes.
And then at the end, they hit you with a right uppercut and it knocks you out cold.
yeah. Everything with Isaiah, everything with Bucky and Sam,
Mhm.
everything with whatever we call them, USA
U.S. agent.
US agent
Yeah.
was so good. Every minute we spent with the Flag Smashers was wasted.
But there's something that's, from the Winter Soldiers and Civil War of Bucky that's missing in this. And I understand that he's coming out of his situation and he's on the mend, basically. He's trying to fix his mental health and everything. But there was a much bigger dynamic in the movies than there is with him right now.
And they could have spent more time talking about him and the Okoye and
Right.
how he
They could have had more flashbacks.
could have had more flashbacks. They
Right.
absolutely could have. Yep.
to kind of tie it in. And but the same thing is with WandaVision and with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I wonder if I would feel differently if I binge them more like a movie instead of just kind of having them drag out, because some stuff is so forgettable that you have to go back and maybe watch it all in sequence right back to back to really pick up on some of the nuances from show to show.
Could be.
Interesting.
All right. This one, this might take a while, but what's going to happen next? What do you think will happen? What do you want to happen? Do you care?
There's nothing that's big enough that's pulling it together for something that's going forward, except for the Contessa. Obviously, the Contessa's moving things forward.
What about Sam? He's Captain America now. Do you
Yeah.
care?
But is he?
Oh no, I think he is, and I think it is leading to
what?
to a continued non-acceptance. But now we know that he earned it. like I think whenever the next movie shows up and
Andy wanted it.
yeah, and he wanted it, and he can be struggling, like I think it very much deepened his character. The U.S. agent character is fully fleshed out. We know who he is. We know what he's about. The seed of Val was fantastic. Isaiah Bradley still exists. Eli Bradley is his nephew's son. I don't know. They kind of,
Patriot,
yeah, they
once again slowly introducing the Young Avengers.
is slowly introducing the Young Avengers. So I liked all that.
Yeah. So, and that's another thing is that we're getting, and maybe this is just something you're leading to, is that these little mini episodes of WandaVision and the Falcon Soldier. The nice thing about Marvel before, the Disney mini episodes is that the movies intertwined with each other. They would come in, they would come out. Some people would have their own separate things. They would come, but we all knew that they were coming together almost like a spring. They would stretch out a little bit, do their thing, and then come back again. I'm not sure where all these little episodes are going. Like, will the Falcon, Winter Soldier, will Wanda, will Loki, or what? Will they at some point come together to create something fabulous, or are we just going to have all these broken segments of now Marvel? And I'm wondering now, them going in with Disney, is this just going to become a machine, a money-making machine, more than...
I think it's already got that covered.
Yeah, I think we're already there.
Yeah, we are there.
No, but I'm just saying that, I mean, before it was working when it was separate, but now we're doing this because we want to build something in the park. We want to build, we need to build something up in the African part, so we're going to put Wakanda out there, or we're going to need to build something out in the winter part, so are they going to do something out there?
Yeah, this is the Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom effect.
Right now,
where they created a movie, designed the action so that it can be a ride.
Correct, and I'm wondering if what's happening is going to be machined.
I know what you're getting at. I don't think it is.
Okay.
There's a plan. Kevin Feige's involved. There's a plan.
I would like to have all this come back together again into something larger instead of everything being fragmented.
It's basically similar to how the sequel trilogy kind of worked in Star Wars, where they
don't threaten me.
Oh, now we're going off the rails.
Focused on money words.
Okay. All right. We are recording this post the next to last episode. The finale of Loki has not posted. We are going to get into what Loki has been so far and what we are predicting for the finale, which means we will sound like stupid people in about 5 days. So, who wants to do Loki? I believe we had a volunteer earlier. Anyone?
Yeah.
Me.
Oh, okay.
All right. Loki is definitely my favorite one now because basically it's not really talking about the Loki that we saw in Infinity War. It's showing that, okay, so during Endgame, Loki stole the Tesseract and got zapped away. And then in this series shows what happened to that Loki.
Okay.
So this is the Loki that has not seen his mother die, has not made up with his brother, has not. But he has. But he hasn't experienced it. He hasn't experienced.
He's evil.
He's 2012 Loki, right? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, he's evil. He's
this is
threatening.
Post New York.
He's still trying to find a place in the world.
Literally post New York. So.
And they got some pretty good stars in there to play the characters.
For sure. Anybody want to do a summary? Where we're at? Where we've been?
Sure.
Okay.
Basically, we came into the series saying like, oh, this is just going to be little misadventures of Loki. Marvel came and they said, which one?
Plot review, Josh. Give us a plot review, not your thoughts.
Okay. So basically, Loki gets arrested by something called the TVA, or Time Variance Authority,
From the comic books.
because he did some crimes against something called the Sacred Timeline, which is a one-way timeline. And if anything that happens that wasn't supposed to happen, a branch happens. And if the branch gets too long, it starts a multiverse, which will lead to the destruction of all of humanity. So Loki stands trial for his crimes, and they're all like, oh, he's guilty. Kill him. He shouldn't be left alive. But Mobius, played by the one and only Owen Wilson, comes into the picture and he's like, no. Keep him around. Maybe he's got something good in here. We're trying to find some other Lokis. Jet ski.
Okay, faster, Josh. We got a lot of episodes to go through. Keep going.
Okay, I'm trying. And basically, they find this variant Loki who is Loki, but if he was a girl. Loki leaves the TVA to be with her, and a bunch of stuff happens. And I'm just going to tag in my dad real quick.
FA.
I think that works. It
Does.
is basically a buddy cop show with Mobius and Loki. Very similar to 48 Hours, where you take the arrested person.
What about a buddy cop show with Loki and Sylvie?
Sure. But I'd say because Sylvie's not the cop. Sylvie is the person they are pursuing.
Okay.
So, yeah. And I think Josh hit it right. I'll just clarify just a little bit that the TVA erases anything that deviates from the quote sacred timeline. That's it. I think that's pretty much where we're at, right? I mean,
there's a lot of details we can skip, but we don't want to. It's definitely, I think, one of the ones you can't miss, in my mind. And I'm trying to not spoil this one too much.
We're still in it.
Yes, there is a mystical three-headed people who created the TVA called the Time. What do they call it? Timekeepers. Timekeepers. And there is a whole Wizard of Oz thing that happens with them in the 5th episode. They are not really there, and we still don't know who is in charge of the TVA, because I think that's going to become part of our conversation in just a minute.
It could.
All right.
Now remember, we haven't had our final yet. So what is our current grade point average on this one?
10.
10 for Vicky.
It's got Tom Hiddleston.
I tell you, if we had Tom Hiddleston and Bucky on Sebastian Stan,
you know what?
we might just have to move out.
Listen, I've watched a couple Tom Hiddleston movies, and I am amazed at his
Shocking.
acting abilities.
Not
Because
only that-
when he steps into Loki, he is a completely different person. You are totally believing that he is Loki.
Yep. Hefe, you want to talk about Comic-Con, or you want me to talk about Comic-Con?
No, go ahead.
So probably one of my personal highlights for San Diego Comic-Con is, look it up on YouTube. They have Hall H, which is, I think it's 2,000 or 3,000 people at one time.
It's like the biggest hall.
The big hall, yeah. And the lights go dim, and out comes Tom Hiddleston, full Loki, and he just, no script, basically gives this Loki speech to everybody in Comic-Con. It is fantastic.
Amazing.
In character.
I will have a link on the podcast notes. I'll find it. It's awesome. Anyway, Hefe, what are you thinking so far?
This could be a 10.
Mm-hmm.
They have not landed everything yet. If they land the plane right, it could be a 10. I'm at like a 9.5 right
Okay.
now.
Mhm.
But even if they don't land the plane, they could
It-
just have Heimdall throw the time bridge down, and
It-
he could.
It could go it could go as high as a 10 and as low as an 8.5.
Okay, I wouldn't go quite that low, but okay.
I'm enjoying seeing all the different kind of Lokis that are out
That's
there,
fantastic.
and the idea of that, and the fact that it opens up the prospect of Loki not necessarily dying but coming back in just a different form.
He's back.
Right.
Don't don't even assume.
Right.
Did he leave though?
I don't know. But
Did he,
I mean,
did he fake his death with Thanos? That's one of my questions for later, so we'll do it now.
No,
no, he died.
he died.
Nah, my boy dead.
Yeah.
But
what
it
about
doesn't matter.
what about classic?
No,
Loki?
because now you can
Wait. Classic Loki did it.
But he didn't know how.
Did he?
No, he didn't know how. He was amazed that that's how he ended up. Oh, but wait a minute. It didn't necessarily happen. So if he does return to his timeline, he'll be able to do that.
Classic Loki still exists out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. So the thing is that he's learning from being
Sylvie.
in this area is that now he was not aware of how much Loki power that he has. So he's witnessing Loki power. So if he happens to go back into the timeline, because we don't know what's going to happen at the end of this, they all could just return to their timelines. And he will be able to have Loki
Leveled up.
power. He will be able to have leveled up and be able to walk into that scenario and do things differently.
You know what? This Loki could even ride in the back of a Lemon's vehicle across the paddock. I'm just saying, it's possible.
I've seen it happen before.
That's right. Okay, so this should be quick. Best lead character?
Loki.
Which
Yeah,
one?
without a doubt.
Does
Hiddleston.
Mobius count?
Mobius counts.
Mobius.
Okay.
Mm.
No Sylvies?
Sylvie, I'm having a hard
Sylvie
time.
is close second.
Okay.
You know what? In all honesty, I don't know if I would have chose her to be a Loki or Sylvie. I'm not convinced on her yet.
Best part of the series so far?
Every scene with Croaky in it.
Okay. Well, Alligator Loki, but
Alligator Loki.
Croaky. Let's see. Best part so far. I loved the performance that Hiddleston is doing, and I'm going to
Yeah.
point to something real specific. Pompeii.
Yeah.
The Pompeii performance when he started spouting off in Latin and dancing around, and like that was like pinnacle Loki, and I don't mean that in like the character that we all know from the MCU, but the playful trickster,
Mhm.
and that was fantastic.
I like him when he's dealing with Sif.
Lady Sif?
I liked him when he was dealing with Lady Sif because he went through a whole bunch of emotions right there, all the way to the end where he's like, "Listen, just the range of the
When
acting
he's
that he's
sitting
putting
on
in
the
there."
ground,
I mean,
dejected.
He is such a good actor. He is
Yeah.
all in when he's doing this character.
Mm-hmm. All right. Best supporting actor. Supporting actor defined as not Mobius, not Sylvie, not not our classic Tom Hiddleston Loki.
Croaky.
Croaky. Okay. We're going for Alligator Loki. Okay. Vicky?
I'm thinking because you took a bunch of them away.
I took 3.
Meh. I would have to say Renslayer. I liked her because I was completely convinced until she flipped.
Really?
I was.
I was like,
I mean, her acting in it was good.
absolutely, she's acting
Yeah.
well, but I was like, Renslayer? No.
Ugh.
When we get to the next question, maybe my answer will color what I think about Renslayer.
Okay.
Miss Minutes, favorite character.
Okay. Speculation on what we think is going to happen. We're getting to the finale. Who's the big bad?
I would love it if it was like another Loki.
Okay.
Because like that would be such a big bombshell.
I'm
Just
hoping it's not another Loki.
no, that would be like a really
That would
big
be
bombshell.
really like a downer for me.
I just want all the King the Conqueror fans to be proven wrong, just so I can make memes of them.
But then again, I mean, everything that they've led up to, like say for instance in WandaVision, and what they thought was going to happen in WandaVision, and it was like womp womp, you know. But with Loki, I'm really hoping it's Mobius because Mobius opens up another big channel. But if it's just another Loki, then it's just another Loki.
Okay, so I think Mobius is a Loki.
Ooh.
And he has been erased. And that's why he does not recognize the pencil with the high school on it, or who made the rings on the table, or where did that prop come from in Renslayer's office.
You think who is it?
I think Mobius
is the big bad?
Is a Loki and has
Okay.
been erased several times. And that's why he doesn't know what is happening. He is not the big bad. Renslayer is the big bad, sorta.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
think
they've already kind of lined that up.
No, but I think in post credit or right before credit scene, Kang is exposed as the one behind her, but she is the top that we are going to get in the TV show itself.
Where do you think it's going? Or are we going to get that after it?
Well, it's going to Ant-Man 3.
Okay.
I'm not so sure that they're in the quantum realm.
I'm wondering. I'm hoping they're in the multiverse somewhere. Because that would be awesome if they start tying all that together and they start tying the Immortals into
Eternals.
Well, the Eternals. I'm sorry, the Eternals into Loki into WandaVision. I mean, that would be awesome if they did that.
It's a lot.
But it's not.
It's a lot for one. There's many steps to that.
There is this one who remains.
Yeah, he's an oddball.
He's an oddball, but I'll explain it because he's from the comic books and he is basically one of the timekeepers or the last TVA agent that has existed for the entire time, and he is the last person in the TVA alive, and he basically goes back and sets up the TVA and is the one pulling the strings. So there are people who suggesting that Mobius will be, quote, the one who remains and be the big bad.
All right, so I'm going to give us a list in likelihood. Who is the big bad? Kang, Ramatada, Immortus, that's all one. Future Loki, Renslayer, Mobius, or the one who remains?
We need to pick one?
No, rank them.
Rank them.
Most probable.
Okay, Renslayer is definitely on number 1.
Okay.
Can I add another one?
Sure.
Miss Minutes.
Oh, we can add her.
She's pretty probable.
Okay.
Also, because I think that a scene with that reveals Miss Minutes would be pretty funny.
Okay.
No, like I can imagine it happening.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. That's 2.
Like Sylvie and Loki are there. Sylvie screams, "Whoever's behind this curtain, show yourself. It's over." You see her little feet. She's got a wine glass in her hand. And she says, "Well, I've been waiting a long time for you two to figure it out."
Okay.
It pans up and there she is.
Is that your list? The other one's not happening?
Yeah.
Okay. Hefe?
I think Miss Minutes has a great chance to be at the end the thing that is beaten, but the strings are still Kang.
Okay. Miss Vicky?
I'm hoping it's Kang. I really am hoping it's Kang.
Okay.
If I had to rate them, Kang. I don't want it to be a future Loki.
I don't
Prepare.
No,
Prepare to be disappointed.
a future Loki. I would have to say Renslayer. I don't know about Mobius, only because the way that Mobius was treated.
Okay.
Because she was truly heartbroken that she had to erase him again, if that's the case.
Do you know how many Mobiuses there are?
No.
Okay.
Okay. And I know Miss Minutes is going to make it to the end. We're still trying to figure out what makes her tick. Ha!
So, Bill, I'd like your opinion on this one because you seem to have it.
It's going to be a future Loki.
It's going to be future Loki.
Yeah.
Can I tell you why it's not going to be future Loki?
If you wish to be wrong, sure.
Okay. There was a statement made by classic Loki while they were running through the void where he said every time we try and do something good is when the TVA shows up.
Mhm.
Future Loki would not keep Loki being bad. Kang would keep Loki on the path to be destructive because the only thing that can beat Kang is Loki.
Okay.
Tell me why
Perhaps.
I'm wrong.
I don't want to on the podcast. I will tell you after. Okay.
Say it on the podcast. You can't hurt anybody out there.
Come on. Say it.
The only way to prove yourself right next week is by saying it now on tape.
Go look at the original Loki trailer.
Okay.
You will see 2 scenes, I believe,
That have not yet been seen.
have not been seen, both of which have a King Loki character sitting on a throne.
Yes.
In a
there is
castle.
a King Loki. Absolutely.
I can continue.
No, but you think that is the big bad.
Well, I don't. I think he is the one that's going to be revealed inside the castle. The big bad will be Kang.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
But he's basically going to be like a Thanos sitting on his throne in Avengers 1 kind of thing. It's not going to be. He's not going to be part of the series. He's going to be a at the end.
I agree. A cameo at the end is going to be Kang.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right. Who survives? Anyone?
Mobius.
On his jet ski back
Sylvie.
in the 90s.
Mobius.
Sylvie will be part of the MCU and Mobius will be part of the MCU from now on.
What about Croaky?
Nope.
Shoes. Miss Minutes?
Nope.
Nah.
Will be destroyed.
Okay. Here's the biggie. Tom Hiddleston.
Yes.
I think you know what,
No.
Tom. I don't know. Tom Hiddleston's a big money maker for them right now. I mean, his popularity is an all-time high. I'm hoping that he does.
Go out on top.
Right after they erased Robert Downey Jr. and
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, they need the star power. He's staying in.
Okay.
Mm.
I hope he does. So you guys do not agree that our Loki, Tom Hiddleston, faked his death with Thanos?
Nope.
Nope.
I think he died.
I think that classic Loki's little story of how, like, oh, I cast an illusion myself and hit as debris was just Marvel teasing us.
Okay.
And yes, Loki did die, but Loki was also pulled from the timeline. That is his projected.
Oh, we're going to get into
Timeline
timeline arguments now, but okay, I'm not going to do it.
So he could start. He could hop back in if something happens to the TVA and set his own destiny.
Okay. Are we going to do time travel arguments, or are we going to move on? Because this could go a while.
I'm okay moving on.
Yeah,
Okay.
because the MCU has made a mess every time they
Yes.
have tried to do time travel.
Yes. Okay. Is Mobius a Loki? Vote.
Yes.
No.
He-
We've got a yes, we've got a no, and Vicky looks like a maybe.
I never really thought about Mobius as a Loki.
Okay.
But he did happen to say, "You're my favorite." So I don't know.
Okay. Is Loki going to turn, our Loki, Tom Hiddleston,
Loki
Is he-
Prime.
is he going to turn on Sylvie?
No.
No.
No way.
Is
Sylvie
Sylvie
may turn on him.
is Sylvie
Mhm.
going to turn on Loki?
There is a chance.
Small itty bitty chance.
Fitty fitty.
All right. And here is the one that has nothing to do with the show. What is your personal glorious purpose? Josh, you may not have gotten to one yet. We're giving you the youth card.
What is his glorious purpose?
No, what is your glorious purpose?
But what
My
is your-
glorious purpose.
Yes.
Your personal glorious
Yes.
purpose.
To stand in front of an audience and present and have them learn about themselves. I do it with college students all the time.
Josh, you got one, or are you going to grow into it?
I guess just entertain.
Okay. Josh
You,
is
Bill.
the entertainer.
What is
Miss
your glorious,
Vicky.
What is your glorious purpose?
I'm the host. I get to ask you first.
See, everybody is so lofty. Right now, I'm on a completely different path. I just want to see how well I do into racing right
Okay.
now.
No, that's fine.
Right.
Very well. All right. Very good. All right. So
What's
that's it.
yours?
Teaching. Anyway,
Okay.
um, let's do Black Widow. We all got to see Black Widow. We've got a few more minutes. Do we want to do a summary, or do we just want to do our thoughts and ratings?
Let's do thoughts and ratings because the summary
Gives a lot.
gives
Away.
away too many things. So
Okay.
we'll
Don't
just
wanna
assume
spoil it.
everyone has seen it and we're going to do spoilers because we're going to talk about stuff.
Thoughts and ratings. It's a ladies' movie, so I think Vicky should go first. Are you frozen?
I think Vicky is frozen.
I think so. I think
No.
so too. I was like, she's
back.
I'm back.
very-
I
she's
don't know what
ponder-
happened.
She's pondering for a long time. Vicky, thoughts and ratings?
Thoughts and ratings. I gave it a 10.
Okay.
Only because we've been so starved for new content. I thought it had a good story. I thought she acted very well. Of course, there were a bunch of ladies kicking butt, which is always awesome.
+3 for you.
But I really enjoyed the ride.
Okay.
Mhm.
Josh, you and your father got to see it yesterday.
hmm
What are you thinking?
Okay, so 8 out of 10 for me.
Any thoughts about it?
Yeah. To be honest, it kind of felt like the writers were just like, the more female characters, the better.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of felt like Captain Marvel, where the whole thing was like, yeah, girl power.
Okay.
They made Taskmaster female.
True. Hefe, where you at?
Oh, I'm like 9+, but I have recency syndrome where I think
Mhm.
the last thing I see is always the best.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
take that with a grain of salt. We'll see how second and third showings go.
Mhm.
But
It
let
got
me just
better
say
on the second.
there were some fantastic things that went on. The big bad was big and bad enough. The introduction of the new characters were great. There was some surprises. Yeah, that's where we're at.
Not a Florence Pugh pen.
Oh yeah, okay, that's all right.
Nope. Anyway, it got better the second time though, so that
Okay.
was good. Do we want to do best part, or do we want to skip that?
I go to best part without a
Best
doubt.
part, Miss Vicky. Best part.
I thought that the best part, I really enjoyed them breaking him out of prison.
Red Guardian.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was kind of funny and fun.
David
and,
Harbour and Red Guardian is who I meant when I said great new characters.
Okay.
Right. I was bought in on those
Not
guys.
Yelena as much.
No,
Right.
not so much. So, best part by our daughter, who got to see it last night for the first time, was when Scarlett Johansson re-broke her nose at the end. Anyway, thought it was hilarious. Josh, where are you at? What's your best part?
Best part for me
Mm-hmm.
was the first fight of Black Widow versus Taskmaster, because
Okay.
that scene of Taskmaster instantly like copying
Mm-hmm.
Black Widow getting up. Like they
Yep.
both get up at the same time and they both freeze.
Mhm.
That was just
So my problem with Taskmaster is, unless I'm very wrong, most of the time when the shield was on, that was a dude.
I concur with you that I think they used different actors in the suit doing different things that were obviously different enough that you could tell through the suit when a quote stunt man versus stunt woman was
Yeah.
in the suit.
Yeah,
I agree
that-
with you.
It kind of bothered me. All right, Hefe, favorite part?
I love the early Taskmaster stuff. I think Josh said it best, and I'm sorry, Josh, I'm going to steal your thing, but it's a total Kylo Ren moment. As soon as the mask comes off, the character lost a lot of points.
There was a reason for that.
Absolutely, and I'm not.
They did it well. It's just the mystery was gone. Like, what's Wolverine's origin? It's kind of took away from the character.
yeah. It's just that the way they did it was just like a cardinal sin.
I don't think it's a cardinal sin. I liked the idea that Taskmaster was created by Scarlett Johansson. I'm trying to.
Right. She was indirectly the origin
That
of her
she was
villain.
indirectly related to the creation of Taskmaster. I loved how Taskmaster worked. I loved how the family dynamic worked. I loved that they were Russian spies in America, and I liked the sister thing. Like I said, I don't really care for Yelena. Yelena was just Natasha light.
Yeah,
there wasn't enough going on. But David Harbour was fantastic as Alexei, and the mother. I don't remember what the mother's name was. Fantastic character that I assume we'll see again.
Yeah.
I like that there's this cadre of widows that are out there that can swoop in and do things en masse in future. And I love anything that has to do with Val.
Really? Okay. I did my bad part about this was A, Taskmaster being a dude half the time, and B, Scarlett Johansson's wigs were pretty bad. Variable throughout the show. But anyway, best supporting character? I'm guessing you're going to go with Alexei, Jeff?
Yes.
Miss Vicky?
He did make things very much light, so I enjoyed him.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Josh?
I'm gonna say the sister.
Oh, Elena? Okay. Okay. Very cool.
Can we also talk about the post-credit scene real quick?
Well, of course we can. If we had a podcast, we could talk about anything we want.
Yeah. Basically, what happens in the post-credit scene is that Yelena is looking over Nat's grave, and then Val shows up out of nowhere and just goes like, "Hey, you want to get revenge on your sister? Here's a picture of Hawkeye. Go kill him."
Yeah.
The second it ended, I screamed.
Well, he's
What?
next up.
That's the next show coming.
That's the
In the
next show coming.
So,
By the way, I know
yes.
where she came from.
You know where
She didn't come out of nowhere. She came out of her time door.
her time door.
Yeah. Didn't you know Val was part of the TVA?
Could be.
Flip it
See
over.
the logo?
Flip it.
Is she the V?
Whoops.
Your phone's not cooperating.
My phone's not cooperating.
Hey, Jeff.
Hold
this
on a
is
second.
not an audio podcast.
Okay,
I mean,
if you take the TVA logo and flip it over,
Yeah.
it says Val.
It does, kind of. Was watching Black Widow as a movie weird after watching the Disney Plus TV shows? Did it feel off?
Not really.
No? Same? Better? Worse? Same as would have? What do you think?
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
TVA. I have it as.
Well,
Your
maybe
phone-
she's
your
the big
phone-
Saved it as a picture.
What do you
Don't
think?
worry. Let me get my phone out.
Okay. Did it feel weird?
No, it
Vicky?
was not weird at all.
No?
Not at all.
No.
Yeah,
No?
I think we all thought of it as like, oh my god, we're gonna see a movie.
Oh, for sure.
Like this is gonna feel so weird. And then we were all just like, that was pretty normal.
Okay. So do you
Mhm.
do you
I gotcha.
prefer
There it is.
do you prefer that Black Widow was a movie, or would you rather have had a TV series?
No, loved it as a movie.
No,
It had to be a
loved it as
movie.
Yeah.
Movie.
Okay.
I'm glad they waited too.
So you prefer the movie to the TV shows?
No, I think they're different and can do different things.
I feel
Okay.
like having a movie gives you. No, wait, never mind. Having a TV show
Mm-hmm.
can add more suspense to what you're doing.
Mhm.
Because it's gonna be like, oh, what's gonna happen next?
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta wait a week.
Yeah,
You know-
episodic television needs to be broken up, but more than that, I don't think you could sustain a 5-part, 6-part series that is wall-to-wall action because you have too much time to catch your breath between episodes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
The action in a movie like Black Widow is action after action after action. It is very James Bond-ish.
Mhm.
Where you're spanning the globe and things are happening so fast that you don't have time to catch your breath, and that is the benefit of the big screen in the film.
You know what my favorite part about the big screen was?
What?
Nobody looking at their phone.
Yeah.
Kills me. Drives me batty. Okay. Last question about the Black Widow movie. Why are we having a Black Widow movie now?
There is only one progression of the Black Widow movie. Like we talked about what happens next, and will we have a Tom Hiddleston again, which is possible. The only thing we have is another drop to the Thunderbolts and Yelena. Basically, you're introducing Yelena and the possibility that she's a Thunderbolt.
Also, probably to give Black Widow more light, because after her death in Endgame, we were like, oh, she died? Oh, man. But when Tony died, we were just like,
But we could have had this movie after Civil War.
true.
I'm agreeing with you. You didn't need a Black Widow movie now.
I just think it was a couple years too late. All right. But good movie. Definitely worth go seeing. Go have fun with it. Now, for those people who stood through this whole episode and listened to it, pit race. How are we going?
Race.
What are we bringing, Jeff?
I am bringing my new Hyundai Veloster N, which isn't even here yet.
Do we have pads for this?
We'll figure it out when we get there.
Okay. Very well. Brake pads.
It arrives on Saturday, 1 week from today.
Did you talk to Wendy about getting some ST43s?
Did not. I would not put ST43s on it anyway.
Okay. All right.
I would do something more middle, but go on.
That's fine. I figured you swap them out. And your brother is bringing his NC Miata, his new NC Miata?
We don't know. NC Miatas have roll bar problems because they are
Oh, that's right. You got to put a roll bar in.
very difficult to get and very difficult to get one that will pass tech and some other things. So my brother's ordering, and it is a maybe at this moment.
Is it a Blackbird or is it a...
I don't know what he is ordering. He is trying to figure out what will pass tech.
Okay. All right. Chris and Chrissy are coming, I believe, from the Three Pedal Mafia.
They are.
And they're bringing the Corvette?
We don't know yet. Corvette
Okay.
is another possible. The Mazda 3 is a definite.
Any other Three Pedal Mafia friends and family?
I think that's it at the moment.
Okay. All right. We have 4 on our end as well. So we will have potentially 8 cars to be a buffet. And
You're bringing 8 for your 4?
No. I'm saying between the two teams.
No.
Yes.
Between the two teams. So Jennifer will be using the ND Miata. Vicky will be using her NB Miata until she breaks it, and then she will be taking my BMW.
E46, right?
Yeah, E46, and then Liam's bringing his Toyota 86. So we're going to have at least 8 people, and one of the highlights for me is we're finally going to get to meet Ross Bentley at this event.
I saw that and was so excited for you.
It's going to be fantastic. And then any guests coming? Like, is Josh going to finally get to the track, Jeff?
No.
Oh, okay. We're going to get him out there someday.
I'm okay with Josh coming. I think Josh would be very bored at a track weekend. He would have probably a better time at a day in New Jersey when it's an actual race than a track weekend.
Well, we will look forward to seeing him out there, hopefully soon. He's only a couple years away from potentially assuming driver
Just had his
responsibility.
13th birthday.
I know.
Happy birthday.
That's right.
He's muted. He's saying thank you. Oh, dang, I'm
Thank
muted.
you.
No worries. No worries. All right. Very well. So that is our quick and dirty review of Marvel up to this point. We could go into the good parts of Wonder Woman. Okay, we're done.
We actually have not even seen Wonder Woman 1984.
Okay. Well, we've just covered all the good parts.
Oh.
We didn't have a WOOT episode of it, so that's going to tell you something. So with that, if you guys want to have a longer discussion, we have more than enough time and more than enough to talk about. But that's kind of the 3 Marvel TV shows on Disney Plus and Black Widow in quick. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks.
Team Val rules.
Team Val rules.
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts.
I'm Team Thunderbolt.
You're
Did you ever
Team
see my Vision shirt?
I did. I have that shirt. That's the new Rockstar shirt.
That's right.
That's right. Very well. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you for having us.
No
Yeah.
worries. And Jeff, if people like listening to you, there's this wonderful podcast that you host that
Sure.
could
I
go
kind of feel like promoting my show on your show and your show on my show. It really is all the same people that we're talking to anyway. But
pretty much. Yeah.
if you're a normal Garage Heroes listener and you like say, these guests are cool, but I want more tech talk. You can come to my show. We do have guests every now and then. I don't want to say that we're not a guest show, but we try and focus a little bit more on tech, try and do a little bit more less driving teaching and more technical teaching, I guess. We talk about building cars probably a little bit more, but we definitely talk about driving too. It is, you're all the same people. If you're listening to Garage Heroes, you probably listen to the Everyone Racers podcast.
Or you should.
We're
Or you
101. They're 201.
I wouldn't even think that anymore. I think your guests really are fantastic and are people that we would love to talk to and love to listen to. We just prefer not to have guests. We like... When we have guests, they're typically outside of racing, and they're typically talking more car culture.
For sure. So, Jeff, who do we need to have on?
Oh, that's a good question. Wow. Our recent guest, John Polnick, was fantastic. I don't know if you heard that one. I know you've heard it, but I don't know if everyone else has heard it who are listening to the podcast at the moment. I don't know.
Any wish list? Any that would be awesome.
No, I mean, we loved Yeah. Ooh, good question. No, I don't know who you should have on.
Okay.
You've had so many people.
Well,
Have you had Glenn Farney on lately?
no, we're
Or
trying.
at all?
We're
Yeah,
trying.
Glenn. I think Glenn and talking about the
Yes,
the whatever that race was, the bracket GP.
Oh, the Thompson. Yeah, we wanted to get him on
think,
there.
yeah, having maybe him and Alex come in and talk about the bracket GP, I
Mhm.
think that could be fantastic.
Yeah, well, that would mean Alex is on again. Just kidding, Alex.
You don't really need Alex again. Alex, you want an NA? Miata? I got an extra one.
It's a
Hit
miracle.
me up, bro.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Great talking. And this will come out middle of next week. So we'll
Alrighty.
be out before Loki. So we'll be able to sound like fools.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.